Everyone's waiting for Charleston's spring market to finally take off, but that's not how it works. What actually happens is that pressure builds in specific parts of the market first, and by the time most people notice, the leverage is completely gone. Today I'm breaking down exactly how spring 2026 is setting up and where I see the real opportunities and what this means whether you're thinking of buying or selling. Let's take a look at Charleston's market right now. So what's happening in Charleston right now? Here's the headline. Everyone's talking about Charleston's county median price hitting $715,000 in December. That is hot, right? But that number only tells you what's sold, not what's actually happening in the trenches right now this spring. All's not quiet on the eastern front. Inventory climbed to 1,225 homes in Charleston County, up 14% since last year. We're seeing more options than buyers have had in years. Now let's look at the time on the market. Days on market stretched to 54 days, which is up 25% from 2025. Homes are sitting longer. And right now, let's stop throwing numbers at you. Here's what it really means. Buyers are negotiating harder than they have since pre-COVID. After 20 years of watching Charleston real estate patterns and helping over 5,000 families make the best move possible, I can tell you exactly what I'm seeing, and that is that buyers are active and they're picky. They're not just grabbing whatever hits the market. They're doing their homework, they're negotiating terms, they're negotiating timing, and they're negotiating pricing, and they're willing to walk away if the seller isn't budging for their standards. Sellers are competing more than they realize. 36% of listings saw a price cut in 2025. That's over a third of all sellers who started too high and had to come down. When we look at what's actually selling quickly, it's the homes that are priced right from day one, updated, and move-in ready. The market's not dead, it's just not forgiving anymore. Pricing does matter, condition matters a lot, and strategy from your marketing matters more than it has in years. And speaking of strategy, you have to understand where spring pressure hits first, and that's what separates winning from watching your home sit on the market for months and months. Before we move on, if you're thinking about buying or selling in Charleston this spring and you want to know exactly how these patterns are going to affect your specific home, I help people make these decisions every single day. All my contact info is in the description below, so just reach out. Okay, let's get back into it. Where the spring pressure is building first. Most sellers think spring demand lifts all boats equally. But after watching the market for over 20 years, I can tell you that's not how it plays out in Charleston. Spring pressure starts with very specific types of homes. The first homes that move are well-located properties close to downtown, homes in neighborhoods that people actually want. We're talking about Mount Pleasant, Daniel Island, downtown, parts of West Ashley, anything near the water. The closer you get to the water, like sections of Johns Island or James Island, the better it gets for your price and the demand. Those areas don't wait for spring, they create the spring. Now, updated move-in ready homes get showings immediately. Buyers in the spring market aren't looking for projects. They don't want homework, literally. They're looking for homes where they can unload a truck, go ahead and move right in and have from day one a great lifestyle. We're talking about fresh paint, modern kitchens, updated bathrooms, and good flooring throughout. These homes feel easy, and easy does win in a competitive environment. Also, homes priced correctly from the start attract the emotional buyers first. And emotional buyers are the ones who write strong offers, they waive their contingencies, and they want to close fast because they don't want to lose that perfect home. When people say the Charleston market is heating up, they're usually looking at the top 30% of listings. That top tier creates the headlines. That top tier drives perception that everything is selling. But here's what's not selling. The other 70% of the market that is still grinding, dropping their price, trying to figure it out. Average homes are sitting. Overpriced homes are collecting days on market. Sellers who thought spring would save them are realizing that spring just exposes the problems that they had faster. And when we look at the leverage breakdown coming up, you'll see exactly how much negotiating power disappears once these good homes start moving. But now let's talk about where spring actually breaks down, because this is where most sellers lose the most money. While the premium homes are moving, here's where the other 70% of the market struggles. Overpriced homes do sit, period. I've watched this pattern repeat for 2 decades. Sellers list high on price thinking spring competition will push buyers to overpay. It just doesn't work. Buyers are smart. Buyers tour the overpriced home, they see what's available for less, and then they move on and buy that other home. And I've had sellers say, well, they'll just make me an offer. And I say they are going to make an offer on the house that looks like the best value to them. Typically, the house that's priced competitively, they make an offer on that. And the sellers are thinking, well, wouldn't they even make me a low offer? No, the offer is going to the homes that are priced better and that are in better condition. Then what we have is a home that sits. It gets stale, and eventually it takes a price cut when the market's already moved past it. Now, dated homes get skipped in the spring too. When there are more choices and buyers have options, they're not picking the house that needs 50,000 in updates or 100,000 in updates when they could get a move-in ready home for the same price or close to it. And those put off repairs, that stuff that's kind of been ignored, that becomes a deal breaker. Old HVAC systems, roof issues, outdated kitchens, bad flooring, all of it, it hurts you. These aren't negotiating points anymore. They are reasons for buyers to keep scrolling and keep looking. Sellers who chase the market instead of leading it always lose. And here's what I mean. The seller lists at 550 in March, gets no offers, then drops to 525 in April, still nothing, and then drops to 499 in May when buyers have already moved on to the next batch of fresh listings. If they had just started out at 525, there's a chance they would have been under contract in March. They probably would have sold in a couple of weeks and been so much happier with the way that the sale went. A lot of sellers make the same mistakes. They have bad pricing, they have poor presentation, they have unrealistic expectations about what the spring is going to do for them. But understanding this breakdown matters because leverage doesn't work the way most people think it does in the spring. Let me show you what really happens. Here's what catches most buyers and sellers off guard about Charleston's spring market. Leverage doesn't disappear at once. It concentrates. Right now, heading into early spring, buyers, they can negotiate. They're getting inspection leverage. They're asking for repairs. They're negotiating closing costs. And they're taking their time with their decisions. And the reality is, sellers are more flexible because the inventory is higher and the competition is real. This is one of the best balanced markets that I've seen in years. But as we move into late March and April, something's going to shift. The good homes will start gaining leverage. Not the average homes, not the overpriced homes, but the really good, great homes, priced right, in great condition. Those are the homes that are well updated, situated in great neighborhoods, and suddenly we'll see some multiple offers on those homes. Buyers are going to feel pressure to act faster. Negotiation power will narrow quickly on those properties. If you're trying to time the market perfectly, you're actually paying a premium for waiting until everyone else is active in the market. Now, this doesn't mean every home gets leverage in the spring. It just means the best homes take advantage of increased buyer activity, while the average homes are still going to struggle. So the gap between the good and the average gets bigger, not smaller. And later, I'll show you exactly how to use rate drops to your advantage before everyone else catches on in just a little bit. That timing can add 5% to 8% to your buying power. But first, let me tell you something about mortgage rates. They hit 6.06% in mid-January 2026, the lowest level in 3 years. When rates drop into the high fives, which many people are thinking is going to happen by the end of the year, thousands of buyers who are sitting on the sidelines suddenly will qualify for a home they couldn't qualify for before. Now, buying power floods the market fast. So leverage isn't about the calendar date. It's about the specific home and the specific price point and how many buyers are actively competing for it, which brings us to the timing breakdown you need to understand for the spring. Now, let me break down spring timing month by month. This is where strategic buyers and sellers make their money. Now I'm going to show you the actual data on screen so you can see these patterns for yourself. Right now, through early March, this is the best balanced period. Look at the data. In March 2025, we had 1545 monthly sales with inventory sitting around 4635 homes. That's the sweet spot. You've got options, you've got leverage, and you've got less competition. Sellers who list in March are getting serious buyers who aren't waiting for the spring rush. Buyers who act now are negotiating better terms than they will in 6 weeks. Now, late March into April, this is when buying activity really starts to ramp up. If you look back at April 2025, you're going to see that sales jumped to 1594. And into May, we were at 1834 transactions. That's nearly 19% increase in just 2 months. More homes are moving, more buyers are touring, and the pricing mistakes become more obvious faster. But the well-priced homes are going to move quickly. Overpriced homes will sit and watch everything around them sell. So from May through June, this is the peak season in Charleston. This is peak competition for good homes. You can see in May 2025, we hit 1834 sales, and then in June, 1706. Buyers are making fast decisions in these months, waiving contingencies and offering over ask on a very competitive property. But here's the thing, they're only doing that on the homes that deserve it. Average homes are still sitting there or negotiating much lower offers. The market is hard during this period. Now here's what most people miss about spring timing, and you can completely see this on the charts that are on the screen. Charleston's lowest sales months are always January and February, followed by a big jump start into March. Just look at this pattern across both years. In January 2024, sales had 1,017 sales, and in February, 1,335. Then in March, it jumps to 1,539. Same pattern for 2025. January had 1,059 sales, February had 1,272, then in March, we hit 1,545. That's the spring surge kicking in, and it continues climbing through May before tapering down in the late summer. Also, notice how the median sales price follows the same seasonal pattern. In 2024, the median price hit $424,000 in May, then $423,000 in June, but dropped to $418,000 by August. In 2025, May had $430,000, June $429,000, and then it came down to $423,000 in August. So you actually pay a premium during these hot spring months when more buyers are competing in the market. That's leverage shifting in real time. So the question isn't whether spring brings more buyers. It does. The question is whether you're positioned to take advantage of them or whether you're going to be one of the homes watching on the sidelines as the market passes you by. Let me show you exactly how sellers should position themselves right now this spring. And hang with me because we're going to talk about what buyers should do next. Okay, for sellers, let's get specific about what spring 2026 means for you. I've seen too many sellers wait for spring thinking it's going to solve all their problems, and it doesn't work that way. First, early and realistic pricing does win. Not aggressive, not giving it away, not let's see what we can get pricing, but realistic pricing based on what's actually selling right now. In December 2025, the average home sold for around 95 to 97% of asking price in Charleston. That means buyers are negotiating, but still only 5% in the worst areas. If you price at the top of the range, hoping to leave room for negotiation, you're just giving buyers a reason to skip your home completely. Second, preparation matters more than timing. I'm talking about staging, repairs, curb appeal, professional photography, great marketing, having a very clean, tidy house, all of it. Spring doesn't save poorly presented homes. It just makes them more obvious when buyers are touring 3 or 4 homes in the same day in the same neighborhood and they see the others that are turnkey. The third thing is, waiting for the spring optimism can backfire for you. Here's what happens. You wait until March or April to list because you think demand is going to be higher. Well, it will be, but so is your competition. And if your home isn't the best home in its price range, you're just another listing fighting for attention. Spring rewards the prepared, not patience. The sellers who win are those who get their homes ready now, price strategically before the competition floods in, and capture buyers while they still have leverage. If you're thinking about listing and want clear strategy for your specific property and your neighborhood, just shoot me an email, matto@mattoneilteam.com. I'll walk you through exactly what's selling in your area and what price your home would make sense at. The info is in the description, but if you're on the buy side, the strategy is going to look completely different. So we're about to get to that. Let's break down what buyers need to do in this section of the video. Okay, what's this mean for buyers? Now buyers, here's your playbook for spring 2026, because the advantage you have right now is real, but it's temporary. First, flexibility creates leverage. I'm not talking about buying something you don't want. I'm talking about being ready to move when the right home shows up. Homes are spending between 50 and 75 days on market right now, down 11 days from recent highs. That means good homes are moving faster. If you're still in the kind of just looking phase where you have to find that perfect house, someone else is probably going to win the offer. The second thing is acting early does avoid bidding wars. Right now in March, most homes are getting one offer. Maybe you'll compete a little bit, but by April and May, you're going to see that kick up. When spring kicks into full gear, those thousands of newly qualified buyers are going to hit the market. Good homes will start seeing multiple offers. Your negotiating power will evaporate a little bit, and you're going to end up paying more. Third, waiting for clarity usually does cost you more. Everyone wants the time to get it perfect. I get that. But here's the reality. By the time everyone agrees that the market has recovered, prices will have already moved. Downtown Charleston's median price jumped 11% year over year, up to $2 million in December of 2025. That's not because downtown became better. It's because buyers who waited finally decided to act, and they paid a premium for waiting. Now, rates are as good as they've been in 3 years. Freddie Mac reported 6.06 on a 30-year mortgage in mid-January. And many brokers are seeing rates in the high fives. If rates drop into the mid to low fives, like some forecasts predict that they can, your buying power will increase by 5 to 8% without touching your down payment. That's huge. But here's the strategy. Don't wait for rates to hit some magic number. If you find the right home, priced right today, buy it. You can always refinance later when the rates drop further. But you can't go back and buy that house if somebody else grabbed it while you were waiting for the perfect rates. The best deals happen before the crowd agrees that the market's hot. That's where we are right now. We're in 6 to 8 weeks. That window is going to close. Charleston absolutely will be active market this spring, but activity doesn't mean opportunity for everyone. The people who win are the ones who understand where pressure is building before it shows up in headlines. If you want a clear plan for buying or selling in Charleston this year, shoot me an email at mattoneilteam.com or send me a text, 843-619-0401. Just tell me what you're looking for, what neighborhoods you're considering, and what your timeline looks like. I'll give you a straight answer on what makes sense for your specific situation, on what's actually happening in the market right now. And if you found this breakdown helpful, you're going to want to see my opinion on living here for more than 20 years. I've linked a video right here where I tell you the truth about Charleston, what drives me crazy, what I love about it, and why I'm not leaving. Hey, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next video.